All right. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Dr. Yvette Bordeaux. I am the Director of the Master of Science in Applied Geosciences here at the University of Pennsylvania. We are housed in the Department of Earth and Environmental Science, and our faculty and staff are all here in the department. Okay, a little bit about the program. It was started in 2005, so we've been around for a little while. And we are in the School of Arts and Sciences. University of Pennsylvania has 12 schools, and we are in the School of Arts and Sciences. We are housed in one of the 3 colleges within the School of Arts and Sciences. We're in the College of Liberal and Professional Studies, which is where all of our master's programs are housed. And again, we are in the Department of Earth and Environmental Science. And this picture here is a picture of Hayden Hall, which is where we're broadcasting from today. And this is our home here on campus. It's very nice. Okay, some people might ask, why study in Philadelphia? It makes a lot of sense to study in places like I don't know, Colorado or elsewhere, but why Philadelphia? Our program is a professional master's program, and that means that we're really training students to go out and work when they finish their degree as opposed to going on for a PhD. Now, we do have a certain number of students who do go on for a PhD, either immediately after finishing our program or a few years, like go out and work for a few years and then go back and do a PhD. So that's not off the table. But we are really focusing our coursework, our advising, the projects that you do towards getting a job in the field. And because of that, I think that being housed in Philadelphia or being located in Philadelphia is a wonderful opportunity because of all the things that are going on here in the city. For one thing, the Water Department has committed to a green infrastructure program. And for those of you who may not know what that means, it's basically what they do is they're charging all the landowners in Philadelphia, particularly the right now it's mostly just the private companies, industry, and themselves, the government, for every inch of stormwater that runs off the property during a rainstorm. And the way that you can reduce that charge is by developing a green infrastructure program, which is using various methods such as green roofs, rain gardens, cisterns, and other projects that basically retain the water on your property and allow it to seep into the groundwater slowly, as opposed to just letting it run off into the stormwater system. And so there are numerous brand new green infrastructure projects all over the city. Right here on campus, we have some. I'll show you a picture in a minute. And so it allows you as a student to see these infrastructure projects in practice, learn how they're done, learn how to maintain them, and also how to assess their viability. Are they really working? So it's a really wonderful opportunity. It's a living laboratory right here in the city. We also have EPA's Region 3 headquarters are here in Philadelphia, so there's opportunities to work with EPA officials, learn what they're all about and the types of projects that they're doing. And of course, we have a lot of environmental consulting work being done both here and in New Jersey that you can get involved with. So lots of opportunities right here near the city. Now, I mentioned that Penn campus has green infrastructure projects right on campus. Here are 2 pictures of those. The first one is Penn Park, the upper right one. Penn Park's fantastic. It's a lovely green space. On the Penn campus used to be a big parking lot for the postal office, and we converted it into playing fields, but it's also a major green infrastructure project. It collects water, stormwater runoff from the campus, which we have 300 acres on this particular campus, not including our Morris Arboretum up in North Philly, West Philly, and the New Bolton Center, which is the veterinarian center down in south of the city. So just the campus itself in West Philadelphia, University City, is 300 acres, and we have to maintain or control our stormwater runoff. And so this park here helps control some of that runoff so it doesn't get into the river, which you can see in the foreground, the brown water there. And the bottom picture is Shoemaker Green. This is right across the street from Hayden Hall. And this is another major green infrastructure project. What you see here in the foreground is the rain garden, and the green space behind it is a cistern underneath collecting water from the surrounding buildings. So that particular space is being monitored by our students for the last 4 years, and a number of projects have come out of that. So a really exciting time to be in Philadelphia. If you're interested in energy, we also have the Kleinman Center for Energy Policy, and that's a wonderful opportunity to work on energy projects, both here and in other areas. The Kleinman Center often has money available for fellowships, so they support unpaid fellowships or unpaid internships in energy here in Philly, in Washington, New York, and elsewhere. We actually had a student out in California as well do a project. So lots of opportunities there. Now, speaking of the geology itself, the academics, we have a nice mix of research faculty who are doing cutting-edge research in everything from ice, looking at geomechanics of ice, to biogeochemistry of soils, and so forth. We also have professional faculty, and these are folks who work during the day in consulting companies at the EPA and so forth, and then they come at night and teach courses for us. So they have real-world examples in the classroom to help you with your career goals. Another thing to watch for if you're on campus and students take advantage of this is our seminar series. We have a couple of them. One is on Monday, our Geo Lunch, where students, graduate students and faculty talk about research that they're working on now, unpublished, just getting started. A lot of fun to hear what's happening. And then our EES seminar series, which is invited speakers from outside of Penn who come in and talk about their research, and it's usually related to one of our professors' research areas. Now, a little bit about our students. We have 41 active students in the program this semester. We have a few that have taken the semester off for various reasons, which is an option for you. 22 are part-time students. They take 1 or 2 courses a semester, and 19 are full-time students. Full-time is 3 or 4 courses a semester. We don't allow more than 4 because it's just too much. It's a lot of work, and we also want students to get involved with internships and other activities on campus. And with all of that, it's too much to do more than 4 classes in a semester. In terms of international students, we have about 17% international. They come from countries such as China, Canada, Ghana, India, and Lebanon. And for those of you who are potentially coming in from other countries on an F1 visa, the MSAG is a STEM program, and that means that you can stay in the country after you graduate for an extra, I believe it's a total of 29 months to work. We do have opportunities for you to do curriculum practical training, which means that you could do a paid internship while you're in the program, and you can also do the paid work after graduation. So that's what is called OPT, or optional practical training. Now, a lot of students ask about what kinds of backgrounds they should have coming into this program. Students should have a science background of some sort, ideally. Typically, our majors are geology, environmental studies, or science, engineering, physics, chemistry, math, that sort of thing, or some experience in the geoscience field. We have had a few folks come in from, say, economics. It's really important to have a good, strong math background, and the more understanding of geology you have, the better. Sometimes folks are coming in from engineering, they don't have a geology background. We do have some courses that will help them get up to speed. Okay. A lot of these pictures are just different pictures from our students doing different things. So here we have a wetlands course. Students actually kayak down the Batstow River, examining various wetland communities. And I think this one was our hydrology class, measuring stream width as part of a project for that class. Our curriculum is 12 courses, or what we call 12 CUs. One course is 3 semester hours, so if you have that equivalent from schools that you're familiar with. But it is 12 courses. 7 are required courses, and these expand your knowledge of the bases in the geology sciences, geologic sciences, thank you. There are 2 professional skills courses required, and then 3 electives. And this is actually a class that was doing some well bailing right here on the campus across the street. The 7 required courses, a little bit more in depth on the curriculum. These courses set the foundation for a strong geotechnical background. Again, we are really hoping to train you to go out and work in environmental consulting, environmental engineering, maybe government work, and we want you to have a good, strong base of geology. So many of you are coming in with a geology undergraduate degree, and we want to kind of build on that. If you're coming from another field, we want to make sure that you have all of these technical courses in hand as you go out into the field. So the courses that you are required to take are geocomputations. This is a calculus refresher course if you don't feel you need that. We also have geostatistics courses and geographic information systems courses as alternatives. Introduction to hydrology, groundwater hydrology, geomechanics. We have both solids and fluids, and depending on your field that you're going into, we'll recommend one or the other. Sometimes people take both. Introduction to geophysics, geochemistry, in which case we have 4 options. We have hard rock geochemistry, water chemistry, which is aqueous geochemistry, air, which is air pollution or aqueous geochemistry, and we also have a soils geochemistry course, which is called biogeochemistry. So you actually have 4 options within the geochemistry requirement. And then engineering geology, and we have rock mechanics, soil mechanics, and characterization of subsurface features. So there's even though there are 7 required courses, you do have some flexibility among some of the requirements in terms of which you choose, and we have advisors on hand to help you make that decision, what makes the most sense for your goals and where you want to be career-wise when you graduate from the program. This is a picture of Mitch Cron on his Geologic Field Methods course. I'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. That's actually in Philadelphia at Fairmount Park. Wissahickon Park, thanks. Now, there are 3 electives as part of the curriculum, right? So there's 7 foundation courses and 3 electives. The electives are taken in one of the 3 areas of concentration. You choose your concentration when you apply to the program. You can certainly change once you get here. There's no, you're not forced into that if you change your mind. But at some point you pick one of the 3, and those 3 are environmental geology, engineering geology, and hydrogeology. You could also propose an individualized concentration if this makes more sense for you, if what you want to do is not within these 3 categories. And you work with an advisor to work that all out. Here's a picture of some of our students working in the Liquio Critical Zone Observatory in Puerto Rico. There's a station there, and our school has been involved with research in Puerto Rico for over 10 years. Continuing with the curriculum, there are 2 professional courses that are required, and those are project management and project design. Project management is a skill that we have found that employers are looking for, and so to have that on your transcript and on your resume has been incredibly important in helping our students find jobs at the project management level rather than having to start in the field at the lowest level in any company. But there's also the project design course, and that course helps you define the project that you will do for your capstone project, which is like a thesis. And we go through the whole process, including finding your advisors and writing the final proposal that you will submit to get approved to do your research. Now, the project design itself is a technical paper as opposed to a research focused paper. What is the difference? Research paper often is theoretical. It's expanding our knowledge, but it's not necessarily practical or applicable immediately to the real world. What we do with the project design is try to come up with a project that is more capable of showing your ability to complete a project, particularly if you're trying to go into a particular field. We'll try to set you up with a company or an organization that's doing that sort of work, have you work on a project with them to show your ability to do this, and then that makes you a really good candidate for being hired by that organization when you're done. Here are some examples of some recent capstone projects or project design topics. Geophysical investigation of Pennsylvania Route 33 sinkhole project, a landslide project, and then finding a subsurface fault zone using geophysics. So those are only a few that our students have done in the recent past. So that was the curriculum. So 12 courses, again, 7 required, 7 required foundation classes, 3 electives, and then 2 required courses. Now, in addition to the normal coursework that you would do, we also have a first-year retreat, and this is something that we do before you start in the program. So usually the week or two before the classes start in the fall, we take everyone up to the Poconos and we introduce you to Penn. We talk about the programs. We have a full day of advising where we make an academic plan for you based on your previous experience, your academic preparation, and where you're planning to go goal-wise. We come up with a plan for you. We also talk about professional licensure, the job market, and internship opportunities during this time. There's also networking skills that we work on, and of course you get to meet all of your peers before the classes start and you're very busy. So it's a great way to get to know your fellow students and learn more about the program before things get busy. We also have a second-year retreat, which is held on the Penn campus, and that one is an opportunity to check on your academic plan that you started the first year, make sure it's still applicable, see if there's anything that needs to be changed. And we look at your project design progress. So at this point in your second year, you've already picked your topic, you've already got your advisors, you're moving along. So this is a check-in just to see how you're doing. We have professional development lectures during this or workshops during this time, and these topics include things like finding a perfect job and negotiating salaries once you get a job offer. So that's always a lot of fun. Good food as well. A lot of students ask, or prospective students ask about careers. Where do you go once you leave Penn with that degree? And here's a list of companies that our students currently work for that are now graduated. I shouldn't say students anymore, they're alum of the program and where they are. This is just a small list of folks. Most of them are in consulting companies at this point. A few of them have gone off to graduate school, and a few of them have gone into government. Not just the United States government, some of our folks are international students, have returned to their own countries and joined the government of their countries. This picture is of our graduate research conference that we hold every year in May. This is an opportunity for our students who have been working on their projects all year to present. We usually have 2 to 4 students present on what they did, and then we have a poster session in the lobby of our building, Hayden Hall, and a wine and cheese reception. So it's a lot of fun. It's great for our first year students to see what our second year students have done, and it's an opportunity to show off your research from the year. Our application deadlines, if you'd like to apply, we have 2 different intake times. The first is for our spring semester. That deadline is coming up. It's November 1st. And for the fall admission, our deadline is April 1st. Now, spring starts in January. Spring semester starts in January, and the fall semester starts in late August. Now, we do have rolling admissions, which means you can apply at any time, and you will, once all of your materials are in, we will get back to you with a decision within 10 days. That assumes that you have that's not 10 days after you submitted, but 10 days after we get all of your materials. So if we're waiting on a recommendation letter, it may take a little longer from when you submit. So, but once we have all of your materials, we'll immediately review it for you and get you an answer. So what are the application requirements? There is an online application required. We do not have a paper application at this point. And so you do everything online. And I think Sally just put the link in the in the chat room. There are 3 application essays. One is, what is your interest in geology? What would you like to do while you're here? That's where you can talk about the concentration and why you chose that particular one. And the 3rd essay is really asking about what you'd like to do with the degree once you graduate. Do you want to go out and work? What kind of company or organization do you want to work for? Do you want to go on for a PhD? That's the sort of thing that you address in the 3rd essay. There is an application fee. We need official transcripts evaluated by WES if you are an if you've taken classes at a school outside the United States. So whether that be Canada, England, or Ghana, we will need WES certification for those. If you took classes in the US, we can accept an unofficial transcript for the application, but in order to be fully admitted, you have to send the official transcripts. So if you get admitted, then we email you and ask for your officials to be sent. We'll need a copy of your most recent resume, TOEFL scores if your first language is not English, and 2 letters of recommendation. The letters of recommendation can be from professors, or they can be from colleagues or supervisors if you are currently working. Okay, there's no GRE requirement. We will accept a GRE score, but is not required for this application. All right. Now, in terms of funding your application, this is another common question that we get. A lot of our students are getting subsidized student loans, company tuition benefits. A lot of our students actually work full-time, and the program is designed so that you can work full-time either in a job or in an internship during the day, and all of our classes are at night. So they start at 6 o'clock, which allows you to come in from the field and go to class. This has been great for students who want to do internships as well, like I said, whether they be part-time or full-time internships, because they have their daytime free. Now, you can take daytime classes if that's a possibility for you, whether you're working or not. You can take day classes as well, but you can do the entire program at night if you want to. So a lot of our students do work for companies that have tuition benefits, and that's been great for them in terms of paying for the program. Some students have also gotten external scholarships, either from places like NSF or Society for Women Environmental Professionals, or from some international students have been able to get scholarships from their governments. Occasionally we have TA positions available. They are semester to semester, so you apply when you are admitted to the program. Once you get your admissions offer, we'll send you an application to apply to be a TA. That is up to availability. We often have 2 to 3 positions available each semester. We do have funding also for your research. So if you need equipment or you need to travel for your project, we can typically fund you for that. And we also have travel subvention available if you are going to a conference to present your paper or a poster. Now, a little bit about some special degree programs that you can take advantage of while you're here. Beyond, if you don't want to just do an MS in Applied Geosciences, you want to do something more, we do have our multi-master's degree program. This is an opportunity to take classes in 3 different countries and receive 3 different degrees. So what happens is that you apply to Penn, you get into Penn, you do the first year here, take 8 courses, and then you apply to Mines Prix Tech, which is in Paris, France. Used to be called the Paris School of Mines. Once you get into that program, then you apply to the Tsinghua University, and you get into that. And then once that's all done, then you, in the fall of your second year, so you come here for the first year, fall, spring. In the fall of your second year, you go to Tsinghua University in Beijing for 3 months, and you take classes, you do projects, and you travel around the country. And I think last year they actually went to Vietnam as well. Then you go to France, and the campus is actually in Fontainebleau, which is outside of Paris. And you spend 4 months there, and you travel around Europe. You meet a lot of people who come in and talk about environmental management in Europe. And then when that's complete, you then go for a 4 to 6 month internship with a company of your choice anywhere in the world. Doesn't have to be the US, doesn't have to be France or China. And when you're done, you write that up as your thesis for Tsinghua Mean Pre-Tech and for University of Pennsylvania. So you have essentially one project. You write it up in different formats for the 3 schools. You have to actually present at Tsinghua University, so you go back in December the following year to present in China. And when you're done, you'll have a Master of Environmental Engineering from Tsinghua University, a postmaster's degree in Environmental Management from Mean Pre-Tech, and a Master of Science in Applied Geosciences from the University of Pennsylvania. So it's 3 degrees. It's a fantastic opportunity if you can, go for a year and not have to worry about paying a mortgage or whatnot. You can do this. It's a fantastic opportunity. If you're looking for something a little less involved, we also have some certificates available, and those include a Geographic Information Systems certificate, a Land Preservation certificate, and a Law certificate. So those are also options that you can do as part of your degree while you're here. Now, a little bit about our student groups, things that you can do on campus. We have a graduate advisory board, and these folks are fantastic. It's our student government, and it's made up of, we have a sister program called the Master of Environmental Studies, and the 2 master's programs have combined their graduate advisory board into one group. And they do a lot of interesting things. They co-sponsor coffee hours with us. So once a month we hold a coffee hour in the lobby of our building, and students and faculty come and just chat before class and get sugared and caffeined up for the day, for the evening. We have our alumni career panel in the spring that they invite alum to come back and talk about what they're doing now, what courses they took while they were here, and what advice they might have for students going through the program. They often have internships available too when they come. There's an all-student meeting once a year where students get together and discuss the programs, what we could do better, what they'd like to see. Then the GAB brings that to us, and we do what we can to accommodate the requests and needs of the students. So it's a really, we try to be as responsive as possible for that. And they also sponsor happy hours and other events like ice skating, rock climbing, apple picking, wine tasting, whatever the students are interested in. There's a haunted house in October they often go to. So there's a lot of opportunities to socialize as well as work on your academics. Another thing that you can do is get involved with our student-run journal called WH20, the Journal of Gender and Water. We have published to date 5 volumes of this. You can see them here. And this is a global gender and water issues journal. It is online, it is open access, and it is student-run. So the students are the editors, and they control the direction that the journal takes and what articles are published each year. People from all over the world, researchers, submit articles. The students are involved with the editing process. We do have a board, advisory board of faculty and folks from industry that also are involved and help the students with decision making, but the students are really heavily involved with the editing, the design, they also write blogs, they write their own articles for the journal, and they get involved with all aspects of this journal. So if you're interested in becoming part of a journal or learning more about what that process looks like, this is something you can get involved with on the campus. Some other opportunities while you're here. There's certainly opportunities to get involved with research here on the campus and also off campus. So these are a few organizations nearby that you can get involved with. The Tacony Frankfurt Watershed Partnership, which does a lot of repair and restoration and stormwater management projects, and they're always looking for volunteers and help with that. The Northern Research Station, which is a U.S. Forest Service station, is located, they have an urban field station here in Philadelphia. They work on a lot of interesting projects, again, with stormwater management, but also urban forestry. And the Stroudwater Research Center, which, as you can tell by its name, works with water a lot. And they have numerous projects going, and they're always looking for students to help with research and publication. So great opportunities there. We always encourage our students to publish, whether they plan to go on for a PhD or not. It's also good for your resume when you're looking for a job. You can think about publishing your independent studies, your project design, any extra projects you might be doing on the side with faculty. And you can collaborate with our faculty here in the department, or also faculty from other departments, including the engineering school, School of Design, and so forth. So lots of opportunities to get involved on a daily basis in research. We also encourage our students to attend conferences, and we have excellent networking and professional development opportunities here. Students have business cards from Penn. They take them with them, hand them out at these events. It's a great opportunity for them to meet people in the field, to learn what's happening in terms of, what are the latest research fields? What are people looking for in industry in terms of jobs? What's the job outlook like? These conferences are fantastic for this. So our students attend events like the Association of Environmental and Engineering Geologists. We have a national event every year, the AEG does, and they also have local events. Our students typically present at the local events, but we're encouraging students to also present at the national event. Geological Society of America, students attend and present there. And we also have had students attend World Water Week in Stockholm and the World Water Forum, which is in a different country every 3 years. Okay. Internships, we really encourage students who are not already working to get an internship, and we give you leads and help in that. Students often intern with consulting companies, or in this case, I have a picture here of Craig, who just interned with a mining company in Arizona, working on their mine drainage issues. So really great opportunities to get involved with research and real-world problems during your summers, and oftentimes you can also find internships during the year, during the semester. Like I said, you have that daytime free. You can intern for a local environmental consulting company, see what that's all about before you commit to a job with in the field. These are some of the places where you can do research or do internships, like the Delaware River Basin Commission, the Urban Research Station, which is the U.S. Forest Service, and of course local consulting firms, and often the EPA has positions as well. Oftentimes students ask about what kind of equipment is available. This is a short list. It's not everything, it's not comprehensive, but it gives you a sense of some of the things that we have here in the building, but you also have access to other equipment in other departments around the university. So this is by far not the limit. Some of our equipment is also portable, so we have students working with these types of equipment, this type of equipment out in the field. All right, a little bit about special courses and certifications. We highly encourage our students who are planning to go out and work in the field to take the OSHA 40-hour HAZWOPER certification course. It has made a huge difference for our students in terms of getting jobs, getting internships. We had a student last summer who got an internship with the local environmental consulting firm. He was one of 4 people who got internships. He was the only one from Penn. The other students were from other schools. And he was the only one with the HAZWOPER certification because we told him he should do that. He said he got to go out in the field every day with the geologists and learn field techniques. The other 3 or 4 interns had to stay in the office because they did not have the certification. So he not only was chosen as one of the interns because of his qualifications and so forth, but the fact that he had the certification allowed him to go out in the field, which was a huge help for him in terms of building his resume and learning what it's really like to be out in the field. So we sponsor this every spring semester, and it's 32 hours online. Students do that between January and April, and then in April we hold the 8-hour dress out. You can see a picture here of the students getting into the Tyvek suits and the respirators to try that out, and then they take a test, and once they pass that, they receive the certification. Okay. Now, some students are already in the geology field, already working in the field, and are hoping to build their resume and help them with licensure. So you can become a licensed professional geologist. Some states require it, some states do not require it. Right now in our area, Pennsylvania requires licensure for some activities, and New York State does. New Jersey does not. So we do have several courses that are geared towards making sure that you are eligible to sit for the test and prepares you for the licensure process. So some students are coming in with a background, they may have missed structural geology somewhere along the way, or they may not have gotten a field course, especially if they're coming in from physics or chemistry or engineering. But even with some of our geology folks, geology undergrads, they missed their field course requirement somewhere along the way. So we do have a geology field course that meets the requirements for Pennsylvania licensure, and we have a structural geology course for students who missed that class. So field geology, if you're going to go out and work in the field, you definitely want to have some field work under your belt before you go out in the field. And we have a number of options for you. We have the geologic field methods, which is geared towards the license requirement. So in order for you to sit for the exam, you have to have certain courses under your belt, and this course will satisfy that requirement. We also have an advanced geologic field methods techniques course, which uses some of the more sophisticated, less Brunton, as you can see here, for the basic geology field course, and more, certainly GPS, but also handheld X-ray diffractors and Trimbles and other things that you would use in the field on a daily basis. We also have a field study of soils course, and we have a wetlands course, among others. So there's a lot of opportunities to get out in the field. Specifically, these are field courses. We also have regular courses like Intro to Hydrology that goes out in the field as well. So you will definitely get some hands-on experience. Now, if you're interested in learning more about what we're doing as you're going through the decision-making process or the application process, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We have our Penn, MES, and MSAG is specific to our programs, so everything that we tweet out is really specific to what we're doing. There's also the Penn EES Twitter site, which is geared towards what our department, our research faculty are doing. And our Facebook page is covering our undergraduates through our PhD students, so everybody gets mentioned on that site. So here's just a couple of photos that we tweeted out in the last couple of weeks, just to give you an idea of what we were doing on the social media. So if you're interested in that, please follow us, and you'll get an idea of what's happening here on the campus. All right, are there any questions at this point? Sure. Do you have any specific questions about the funds and tuitions? I think Sally put in a link to how much the program costs. Certainly, I think that a lot of our students have come in, maybe done a semester full-time, and then during that first semester found a job that pays for tuition benefits, and go on that route, because it is expensive, and definitely we know we have sort of a list of companies with tuition benefits that we tend to direct you towards if that is your goal. In terms of scholarships, a few folks have gotten scholarships. A lot of our students who have come in with scholarships have come from other countries where their governments have paid for it, or their companies in that country have paid for them to come for 2 years to do a program. It's a little bit tougher for international students, I think, because you are restricted for full-time employment until you graduate, and then once you graduate, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. I think that internationals, for the most part, have paid for it through either loans from their countries or from various scholarships from their countries. You can email me, bordeaux@sas.upenn.edu, or Sally. Either one of us can answer your questions, set up an appointment to talk on the phone, Skype, or have you come in person. We're always happy to let you sit in on a class or meet some students, join our coffee hour, whatever works best for you. All right, well, that's great. That's our presentation. And again, like I said, I'll hang out in the room here for a while to see if you have any questions, or if we can help you out with anything, just let us know.